Hello and welcome to the Just for Gamers video game podcast. Episode 163, One and Maul. In this week's episode, we are sponsored by Cosmic Dad.
Cheers, buddy.
JfG Ash proves he can skateboard. JfG Alex loves some new wave electro.
Yeah, I do.
There's been drinking of gin.
Lots and lots of gin.
And finally, it ends.
Hello and welcome to the JfG podcast. This is episode 163. My name is Alex and I'm joined as ever by my very good friend Ash. Hey buddy, how you doing?
Hey buddy, as always, feeling good on a Wednesday. Yeah, sparkling thoughts give me the hope to go on. Unfortunately, I look like a pair of ball bags.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, on the live stream right now, I'm not looking pretty. I look
That's
like I can't keep my eyes open. But hey.
And is that because you can't, or do you just look that way because you're kind of naturally ugly in some way?
I'd like to think naturally I'm quite the handsome man. But just today,
he's a pretty boy.
I'm a pretty boy. I'm a real boy. I'm just very tired and run down at the moment. A lot of stress at work, new job roles, ham rolls, and just not sleeping because kids are ill. I mean, this podcast might go drastically south because of said kids being ill. We shall see. In the meantime, though...
To be honest, though, that sort of peril is truly exciting and can only enrich proceedings as
I'm
far
on
as
a
I'm concerned,
fucking
buddy.
knife's edge right now, mate. You know, I just
can't believe it.
Edge of my seat, you know.
Panda watch.
Panda watch.
The mood is tense.
The mood is tense. So, let me quickly give you a rundown of this week's shenanigans. Oh
well,
my
make
god.
it quick, buddy, because I'm in a rush.
Okay, well, oh my god, I'm out of money.
No dear.
Moving house is fucking expensive.
I've heard that about houses.
Solicitors are like, give me your money. Like, banks are like, you want a new mortgage? Give me your money before I give you your money. I'm like, fuck me. Like,
switcheroo.
What the fuck? What is this?
Yep.
It's ball bags. I've just been on the phone to the bank for like half an hour, giving them jip about where's my money at, you know? They're like, hey, you owe us money. I'm like, you stop taking my money kind of thing. And
very much
went round and round.
Similar to the scene in The Room with Chris R and Denny on the roof, buddy, where you're like, where's my fucking money?
Where's my
money?
Yeah, where's my money?
Yeah.
It's pretty much exactly the same situation with the bank there.
Obviously, you're Chris R and the bank is Denny.
Laying it down.
It's beautiful.
It was good, yeah. So that was fun. Cooked a chicken this week. That was nice.
Okay.
Yeah, did chicken roast on Sunday.
So it's done.
Yeah, while I was there, I was cleaning out some cupboards because we're moving, so might as well throw loads of shit in the bin that we don't need. It's always good.
I hope there's more.
Mate, there's going to be more talk of me cleaning out cupboards in the upcoming weeks. You can assure yourself of that. Get your bets in. What cupboard do I clean next?
My God, imagine what you might find.
I'm going to probably find loads of old tat that I don't want anymore.
It could be Narnia, judging by the fact that you've had a cellar for 8 years. The bets are off, man. You just don't know. You
just never know what you're going to find at Schlee's house.
Fucking Stargate.
Anything.
You just don't know.
It's true. No one knows. Oh, dear. Jesus Christ, this is going to be a painful podcast. I can only apologise right now, buddies.
Luckily, my razor-sharp wit and intense personality is going to carry us through here, buddy. I
feel that's the only thing that's going to pull us through, apart from this pint of G&T that I've got as well. What are you drinking? I've got a pint of G&T. Mainly because that's the only alcohol in the house and I can't afford to go out and buy beers.
Hey, buddy. I'm drinking a pint of G&T.
This is the New Age podcast for the New Age man. Pint of G&T with ice.
Yeah, we're going to get...
No lime.
We're going to get a cupboard flat in the village and go to... racist stand-up shows on a weekly basis. I don't know, whatever's cutting
I feel
edge.
like I should apologise for my racist slur last week. I don't intend to be racist. It just sometimes happens.
What better way to belittle racism, buddy, other than make jokes about it?
Exactly. I mean, that's why it's funny.
Yeah.
No? Yeah?
Because it's so ridiculous.
It is fucking... I hate racism. It's so ridiculous. No, seriously, it's such a retarded topic.
I find it really genuinely hilarious because it's so ridiculous.
It's just like, you're a person, I'm also a person. Thumbs up.
You're probably a cunt, but it's got nothing to do with your colour.
Exactly. I'm just a cunt to everyone, no matter what colour. Yeah, and that's the thing. If I treat everyone the same,
you don't discriminate.
I don't discriminate. Yeah, I just hate everyone. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh dear, buddy. Fucking gonna talk about the Discord this week. If you're not in it, get in it. Discord channel. You can get on it through our website. I'm guessing the link still works. Who knows? Maybe someone will tell me if it doesn't, like last time. But hey, if you go in there, you can see a really shitty GIF of me skateboarding. There you go, mate.
Well, this, of course, stemmed from JJ requesting proof or it didn't happen from your skateboarding tales, buddy.
Exactly. And I was like, hey.
You kindly obliged.
I was like, let me fuck about on my phone for a little bit so I know how to convert a video into a GIF. And yeah, there you go. There's me doing a really bad 50-50 grind on a little ledge. So if you need proof, there's your fucking proof. In your face.
I enjoyed it.
I am still gnarly. That's the word I'm going for.
That's the word?
Yeah, exactly. Finally, buddy, though, this was a bit exciting for me. I did some 3D printing this week. 3-dimensional printing.
What did you print, buddy?
Well, I might have printed a little jig. It's known in the switch hacking business.
Oh.
I'm getting prepared.
He's a cheeky boy.
Getting prepared. Yeah, it's a little thing that slides in on the right Joy-Con slot. You put a little bit of wire in there, grounds that number 10 fucking whatever metal bit, so it's earthed, and then boom, DRM mode or whatever it is, RCA mode. I don't know what it's called. Like hacking mode enabled. I haven't tried it yet, but I've got it there ready. But it did make me start thinking about 3D printing. I'm like, hey, there's a 3D printer at work. I should probably try and abuse this. So I found some website, I can't remember, it was begin with a G. Some 3D printing website where people
will find it from that.
Yeah, you know, people upload loads of fucking images and stuff that you can 3D print, like models, 3D models. There you go, that's the word. I was just going through there, and there was loads of like Destiny guns. I was like, sweet, I could like print a massive Destiny gun. I was like, probably not a good idea to print a gun off in prison. So veto that.
No.
Yeah, not going to do that. But then I was looking at things like PS4 controller holders that are wall mounted. I was like, hello.
Oh, wow.
I'll have some like fucking... Hey, put my PS4 controller on the wall. Just boop. There you go. Nice. And I was like, under desk headphone rest. So you screw it into under your desk and you just hang your headphones on it. I was like, it's like a hook, but 3D printed.
There you go. It's a 3D printed hook, effectively. Yeah. I mean, if anything, that's what 3D printers were designed for, really.
And I was like, I wonder what other kind of hooks. And I was like, cable management. God,
yes.
Get on it. Fucking 3D printed cable management stuff. I'm like, this will save me at least £3 from Wilco's. Let's do it. So, yeah, I'm getting a list of all 3D printed stuff that I want to make. And I'm going to bombard the IT department with really stupid things like what I've just mentioned.
What do they use it for?
I have no idea.
Like, what's its conventional use for in your prison?
I feel there's a works department and they like have screws and things. And I think they were like, oh, yeah, you can get this to like build us bespoke parts for whatever when stuff breaks. I'm like, whatever you need to justify yourself printing off like a Predator, a mini Predator head so it can sit on your desk.
99% of all 99% of all 3D printers were bought by someone justifying their use in a way that was just not relevant at all.
It's like, I mean, I took the piss out of them there a little bit, you know, with the printing of the Predator head. But the first thing I was like, I'm going to design some Destiny 2 beer coasters and get them printed off.
Yes.
I mean,
nice.
that's the first thing. Like, I mean, obviously, that's what you want. That's why you need a 3D printer to buy, like, to print all these like novelty like crap off. I love it. It's amazing.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. So 3D printing, skateboarding. Yeah, mate. Looking forward to some sort of purchase we made this week. We won the game of buying games, buddy, didn't we?
It's basically weekly now.
I like that. That's nice.
We've done it.
Yeah, I've topped up my account, so I've got some money in there for this week's expenditures. See what's going in there. Oh, actually, was there a new sale today? I didn't even look, to be honest. I don't think there was.
No, I haven't looked yet.
No, there we go. After the show, we know what we're doing. Going to the store, buying a new game, obviously. That's what we do.
It's going to happen. Yep.
I did try out the old GeForce Now, the NVIDIA GeForce Now, which is the streaming thing. Because, I don't know, I was on Hot UK Deals and they were like, oh, remember this is still free. And I was like, oh, I know someone who's got a login for that, and that person's you. I was like, mate, chuck me your details. I'm gonna, because obviously now that I've got Destiny 2 on PC, I was like, like, my graphics card can run that at 60 frames per second on low settings. I was like, yeah, that's nice. I wonder what this can do. And, you know, right, I booted it up in there, and it didn't handle it too well. I was like, whoa. I thought this was
really?
Gonna, yeah, no, like, obviously, first of all, I chucked it at, like, 4K, fucking highest settings, unlimited frame rate, and it was like, it could cope with about 45 frames per second. I'm like, that's not bad. And then, like, I knocked it down to 1080p at high settings, and it was like 50 frames per second. And I was like, oh. Then I knocked it down to like medium, and it was like, oh, hanging around 60. And I was like, wow, I thought it was going to do better than this. I don't know if there was some kind of weird setup or something I'd done wrong, but I thought I was expecting like hundreds, because it, like, literally in the menus, it was doing like 300 frames per second. I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. But no.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, it was a long time ago now that I tried it out, but I was playing... Obviously, I haven't got any really graphically demanding games in my Steam library, so I was kind of limited to what I could test out. I ran Bioshock Infinite in 4K, and it ran 60, like, real nice. But it's a pretty old game now, that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's much less demanding than probably Destiny even is on low. So, yeah. Kind of a work in progress, maybe, that service, but very
still
exciting.
Fucking well impressed with it. I was like, fucking literally, you don't need a computer. Well, you do, obviously, but
run off your phone.
Exactly, you could just run to that, and that's absolutely amazing. So instead of like fucking chucking like £300-400 on a graphics card every year, just fucking subscribe to this for like, I don't know, however much it is. Even if it's 60 quid a year or something like that, that's probably worth it. You know?
Yeah.
But then again, obviously, it did feel a little bit woolly here and there, and I was like, I don't know, like, I'd have to play one and then jump straight into the other one, you know, like, straight off the bat to feel how the first-person shooter things. But, like, frame rates and everything were just fucking consistent as fuck. It was amazing. I was just like, I don't know. I don't know if it was, you know, when you play something like stream something like that, and you're just like, you know that you're streaming it, so therefore you're looking out for like anything. You're like, oh, is this? But like, you know, if I just went into a room and started playing it, I was like, would I know if this is streaming or not? Kind of thing. It's one of those situations.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Like it's very, very difficult to test that. you'd need like someone to test you, kind of thing. You'd need
exactly.
to like go into a room and have someone be like, right, play this, and then go out, right, play this. Now, which one was it, kind of thing. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I like to think that I do kind of recognize latency, and I would be able to tell the difference. But as you say, like, there's no real way of knowing that unless you were tested on it. So
it did. Like I said, I kind of struggled to think, is this or isn't this? Like, and that's the whole thing. I was like battling with myself to think, like, maybe it's just in my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, buddy, not a lot this week. Shits and giggles had by one and Maul. Darth Maul from Star Wars there, one and Maul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the saying now, I believe. Also,
indeed.
Podcast title. Job done. How's your week been?
Oh yeah, you know.
I do.
Imagine if that was it. Well, no, it isn't. I'm okay. Yo hoes. I went to see the Avengers Civil War this week, buddy.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. It was a movie. I enjoyed it. It was probably mediocre. It had a very high budget. There were the odd occasions where everything looked quite spectacular. There were a couple of occasions where I couldn't believe how awful the CGI looked. Just these little moments. I don't really understand that. Like, God knows how long they've been making this film. Like, there's a moment in this where the Hulk is wearing like an Iron Man suit, and there's like a long shot.
Spoilers.
There's like a long shot away of his head, like Mark Ruffalo's head, in an Iron Man suit, and they could have done it. They could have shot it, and that's the thing that fucks me off with these Marvel films is the number of times they could literally go and stand in a street, and instead they green screen it. I just think it's so weird. Stupid and fucking lazy, and this was a great example. Like, it looks fucking wank. Like, watch out, remember this moment, buddies. If you haven't seen this film, wait for the bit where you see Mark Ruffalo in the Iron Man suit, like the fat Iron Man suit, and just look at his stupid CGI head and just revel in the misery of the current state of CGI in the world, buddies.
I love it.
But for the most part, it was fun. It's just a fun popcorn film. Like, it's not brilliant or anything, but it was great fun, and I enjoyed it. So that was cool. What else? I went to friend of the podcast, Paul's buddies, Fotpa Paul. It was his birthday at the weekend. He celebrated, of course, like you do, with a Eurovision party, buddy. So we watched the Eurovision. I would imagine there's a huge crossover, the Venn diagram of JfG podcast listeners and Eurovision viewers. Yeah. You're talking basically just one circle there. It's not even a crossover. It's just everyone.
Is it a Venn diagram?
Yeah, exactly what I just said. Yeah.
Sorry, I was elsewhere.
That's okay. So yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. It was so stupid.
How did we do?
Our woman was like attacked on stage by like an activist.
Was it
halfway
planned?
Through? He was just some fucking like when someone runs naked onto a football pitch. He was just that dude. He said something about the Nazi British media. We demand freedom or something. I don't know. It was pretty funny, I thought. The song was incredibly boring, so it spiced things up nicely.
Beautiful. But
yeah, she was offered the chance to go again, and she would have like. There's a massive thing in Eurovision where you want to be in the right place, because the show's it's like 25, 30 songs. So if you're first, you're fucked, basically. I don't know that anyone's ever won in that first position, because by the time the voting comes in, everyone's completely forgotten you. So she was like 9th, and then that happened. And if she'd gone again, then they would have let her finish the show before the voting started. Which,
there you go,
blatantly, she would have picked up, like, not just sympathy votes and, oh, wow, like, how strong of you for doing it again, but also, you're the most recent song, you're the one that the retards can still remember.
That's
and
true.
She chose not to do that, so I think we came third bottom out of the like
Fucking
25.
Nailed it.
So yeah, but the winning song was Israel. It was Fat Bjork, and she was making chicken noises and kind of clucking and stuff. And that's worth watching. So yeah, lots of those Chinese lucky golden cats on shelves, just kind of behind her, and I think she's like dressed as sort of like a Japanese doll, except like obese and Israeli. And yeah, the song name drops Pikachu, among other things. It's worth a listen, buddies. Netta.
I'm getting it on right now. Is this it?
It's Netta with Toy, I think is the name of the song.
It's
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm a beautiful creature. I don't care about your modern time preacher. Welcome boys to much more.
yeah. Just saying, she's singing in English there, mate. That's not Israeli.
They're all going to get chicken in a minute.
Yeah. Barbecue
Yep.
sauce was that?
Just
She's got some big earrings. Dropping Wonder Woman there. Yeah, chicken. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
That's number one. Austria was the best song. They were robbed, but the chicken one won.
Chicken
So,
song. Yeah, you gotta love the chicken song.
Chicken car. There you go.
Love chicken car.
So yeah, that was Eurovision. It was nonsense. I enjoyed it. I think it's funny. I know it's stupid, but I like it, and
That's why you like it, because it's stupid.
Yeah, I enjoy making
I respect that.
idiotic event of it every year. It's something cool to look forward to because it's funny, and you just get drunk and be like, "This is ridiculous."
That's a
There
good
should
excuse.
be more things like that.
There should be. Like this podcast.
Yeah, Gibbons, buddy. There you go. So the last thing, probably for me this week, is I went on a very special trip on Monday evening into London, buddy. A city which I hate, by the way. But sometimes you've got to go there because there's a lot of stuff there. Some of it good. So the missus had sorted us out with some tickets to the Backyard Cinema's Mission to Mars, buddy. To go and see Blade Runner 2049. It's this. It was a really weird place, like sort of 15-minute walk from London Bridge, and it's like an indoor market in this like massive abandoned warehouse, and then in the corner there was just like this little spaceport. So you like handed in your tickets and went through like an airlock, and then they had all these screens set up with this sort of like the Spaceflight Corporation, you know, proper mocked up, really good graphics and stuff. And this, basically, the female Holly from Red Dwarf delivering this, like, safety message about how they're not responsible for the fact that as we're going to be going 250,000 miles an hour, your bones might all shatter and stuff. And there's, like, all smoke machines and really cool sound system and everything. And it was just, like, this selection of, like, rooms, like a sort of weird Red Dwarf-esque space station kind of exhibition. Eventually you're funneled into this what just looks like a big lift, and it's supposed to be like the shuttle to the spaceship, and then you pop out into just this massive cinema, and the screen is like, you know, in like Star Trek, the viewfinder at the front of the ship or whatever. The cinema screen was one of those, and there was sort of seats and consoles and everything like the bridge of a starship. And then the whole cinema was all these giant beanbags, like executive beanbags. I looked them up; they're like 200 quid each. These beanbags. We're not talking fucking primary school kids party sort of thing. The sort of beanbag that you can comfortably sit in for over 2 hours without dying.
That sounds good.
It was fantastic. They had like space suites, buddy, and they had this massive old bar with like some really good selection of beers, like all those Meantime Brewery beers and that. So I was tucking into some of those. It was just fucking great. And holy shit, That is a great film. My word, what a movie that is. Blade Runner 2049, fucking awesome film. Like, the most cool film I've seen in the cinema for years. I thought it was fantastic. And we watched the original the night before on Sunday night just to sort of refresh our memories. And that's cool as well. But I actually think this... I think it might be better, which is baffling because always when they bring these franchises back after an extended period of time,
always terrible,
they're shit. Yeah, total shithouse.
Personally, I never really got on with the original Blade Runner. I was like, it felt a bit too cansy for me.
It was, I mean, they've done this 4K remaster of that thing, and there's like a Final Cut version that's very, very cool. But it's the mood that first film created with the sort of really sort of noir-esque. Everything's very sort of dark and kind of claustrophobic and miserable, but also kind of awe-inspiring because of the sort of Tron-esque sort of nature of it. And this just absolutely nailed that, which is an incredible achievement. But great cast, like brilliant performances from people you wouldn't expect. Like Dave Bautista was in this film, and he was fucking excellent in like a serious role.
He was really good, wasn't he?
Briefly in there, but so it was just really cool. Yeah, I'd really recommend this backyard cinema thing. It wasn't like, if you think like the price of a cinema ticket these days is like 13-14 quid anyway. I think this was like 22, something like that. Which, it's not too bad.
And just for that
a
added
big old
experience, it's kind of cool, isn't it, really?
Exactly. I mean, the sound system was killer in this place, and it does fuck me off when you go to the Odeon and they don't have it up loud enough. This was definitely loud.
Nice.
And just a fantastic experience. Yeah, it was a fucking cool night. Highly recommended. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
It's good shit. So yeah, that's me, buddy. I've waffled on a little bit there, but I have been busy. I've been a busy chap.
He's been a busy boy.
But we should move on now, because of course the topic for this week's show is video games, and we should probably get on to talking about some.
Yeah.
So let's go and talk about what we've been playing. Do you want to get the ball rolling, buddy? What you've been playing this week?
Destiny 2 and Fortnite this week. So the same as last week. Fortnite is still that game that for some reason I carry on playing it every now and again and seem to enjoy it, which is good. Not
Fair
more
enough, buddy.
to say there. Destiny 2, on the other hand, finished the Jimmy Warmind DLC campaign thing.
Jimmy Warmind, MD.
Indeed. The campaign itself was very short, as is tradition. But in the grand scheme of things, Destiny isn't that kind of game where, the campaign's like the introduction or whatever you want to call it. It's whatever it is. It's a nice little story that tells a story, and it was nice. It was cool. Final boss was a big fucking worm thing. I was like, this is kind of different and a bit exciting and stuff like that. But obviously, at the end of the day, you just shot fuck out of it. Just like every other game, it's the same. That's video games. So if you listened last week, or if you didn't, you might have turned off when I started talking about Destiny 2. It's a case of there's lots of other little things to do, and there's some new exotic quests to be hunting down. And stuff like that. I'm enjoying it. I got stuck in finding all like the little shiny things. I think they're called like data caches or something like that. So there was like 45 on the map. Went through it all. Holy shit, we've got a question. Dave Russell, how do I feel about the new progression mechanics? Everything in the world being capped at 340, 345. Yeah, that's ball bags, especially. I was going to come on to it, but yeah. So the new light level, or power level even, is like 370, I think it is now, 375 with the mods.
Right.
So like everything is capped at 340. You can get up to 345 like really quickly. You go through the campaign, level up to level 30 and get your power level up, which is good. And then it's a case of going through like your powerful engrams, doing like either like the raid or the nightfall or heroic strikes or the flashpoints, all different stuff that you can do, or crucible obviously. You can do. And one thing that kind of pissed me off was we went through Smash the Nightfall, enjoyed that. It was a bit of a challenge. I did my Crucible and the Flashpoint. That was all good. And then we came around to completing the 3 heroic strikes. Now the heroic strikes, the recommended like power level for that is 350. So you're already at a fucking disadvantage, even if you do get up to like 3, 4, 5, just playing the campaign. So you're like 5 power level like underneath it, and fucking hell, we slogged to get through that thing.
Bit of a struggle, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, Destiny's like a game of feeling powerful, and like, it's great when you get to that level where you can just go through and fucking smash the fuck out of everything. It is awesome. And I must say, like, a lot of the changes they made to the exotic guns are absolutely fantastic. Like, the Graviton Lance is a pulse rifle. It's got like 2 burst pulse rifle, so it's more like a scout rifle. But like when you kill something, like all these purple fucking explosives come off of each body, and they like bounce around and blow up loads of other stuff. So like when you've got like a load of thrall just like surrounded by each other, which are like the teeny tiny enemies that you can like fucking just punch and they're dead. Like you shoot one of them in the head, and then suddenly that all these explosions are go off. It's so much fun, and that's where that game is the funnest, when everything's just going fucking bananas, and it's really good. But yeah, we had to do like proper strategic, like, right, no one die. If someone dies, like pull back, you know, wait for the res and stuff like that. It was tough to get through. So
it's kind of what you want, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a challenge, but
I suppose not if it's kind of implemented in a way that you've basically been fucked over by the gear rather than the game being cleverly designed.
But then, like, the point that I want to make is, like, so this, the heroic strikes, they are 350 light level, you know, you have to be there, but the loot you get out of it is only 340. So I don't understand that. Like, that's really dumb. Like, surely it should be dropping 350
really
stuff.
Odd.
Yeah, it's really, really dumb. It should be dropping 350 stuff. But
because if the only reason you're playing is for that loot cycle, then why the fuck would you bother?
Exactly. So it's an odd one. So obviously you complete 3 of them, you get your powerful engram, and that's where the loot cycle is. But it would be nice to be getting stuff like that. I mean, I think I'm up to like 352, 353 now, and stuff in the world is dropping at around about 340 to 43, and that's like the blues and stuff like that. So it does go up to whatever. But another thing is another way of like leveling up back then or previously was like your clan engrams, the trials engrams and the crucible ones. So like if you're in a clan, all your stuff like the raid engrams, not clan one, sorry, but they're all linked to the clan, and they would also level you up as well. But all these are like soft capped at like 340, so it's pointless getting them, and all the loot is pretty much ball bags from there. I'm not painting a good picture of it right now, but
no, not
they're
really.
the negatives. That's where it kind of falls back a little bit. But the fact that there's like a new progression tab system, so you can actually check your progression in certain like activities that you're doing now, which is good. Whereas before they would take up like a slot of your inventory. They've increased the inventory size in the vault to 300 now, so I haven't constantly got to delete stuff that I think, oh, do I want to keep that or don't it? I can kind of just chuck it in there and be happy with that. But yeah, the main thing that I'm happy about is there's new like missions to be doing. There's like exotic missions for specific new exotic weapons to go on, so there's a nice little grind for me to go through. And also like the final thing to get to is shit, it was in my head just now. It's like a horde mode.
Oh yeah.
So it's their new public event that they've put on there. And it's absolutely just gone. I literally had it like 30 seconds ago in my head. I was like, oh yeah, I need to talk about that thing. And it's gone. But yeah, anyway, there's these little towers on Mars. You activate them, then loads of people come at you. There's like 7 waves, and jeez, there we go. Dave's there. Escalation protocol. That's the one I remember. Cheers, buddy. Fucking Dave Russell, what a legend. And yeah, so it's a case of waves of enemies coming at you. And yeah, the recommended power level for this is 270. And Jesus Christ, this is hard. Because obviously, you know, we're like 20 power level underneath that at 350 at the moment. And it's just... We've managed to get through the first wave, which is like loads of little shitty things, maybe a couple of wizards, and then a big old ogre. And defeating that ogre was one of the best feelings that I've ever had in this game. Because it was just so ridiculous. It was awesome. But then obviously after that, level 2 starts and you're like, oh, fuck. And there was just like about 5 different big boss wizards and ogres about. I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I can't do this. So there's also that to like fucking grind for. So like I want to get my power level up. I want to do all 7 levels of that. And the thing about Escalation Protocol is as well, it's a public event. So like up to 9 people can get involved with it if there's 9 people in the area as well. Which is kind of stupid because you can't get 9 people in your team and go there and do it. You've kind of just got to hope for the best. But there are certain ways around it with stupid inviting people when you're in the public space and stuff like that. It's a funny way around, but there is a way to get 9 of your mates in there. So
possibly in the shape of maybe the future of if Destiny 3 ever comes, then, you know, maybe they could, you know, as technology improves, maybe the size of the parties can improve as well.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've got like events with 6 people. Yeah, I don't see why not having events with 9 people. It could be a thing. And yeah, I can only apologise to everyone about talking about Destiny 2 for at least about, I don't know, 8 minutes there. So I'm sorry.
They wouldn't have seen it coming, buddy. They thought it was all done with. Like, you've totally fucked them there, and I think that's quite funny.
I'm always there. Always. I've also been playing it on PC as well this week because obviously, you know, that's been fun. And that game's like a million times better at 60 frames per second. It loads way quicker. It's awesome.
Imagine that.
Imagine that on my like 8-year-old PC. It can run at 60 frames on the lowest settings. Who would have thought it?
Bit weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow, you would have thought maybe a PS Pro could handle 60 frames, but I don't know. Maybe it's because of the processor I've got. Who knows? Not just the graphics card.
Sure.
Either way.
Sure.
Believe me. Yeah. Trust in me. And that shit. Yeah. So there you go. That's my week.
No, fair play, buddy.
Enjoyed it with games. Obviously, I played game night, but we'll maybe talk about that a bit later.
Gibbons.
So I see you've been playing some Gang Beasts.
I have been playing some Gang Beasts, buddy. I've been playing some Gang Beasts with the missus.
Oh, you've been beating her up, throwing her in mincers and stuff.
Took us a little while to get the hang of the old controls. She's expert at the chain headbutt. She just keeps headbutting me over and over and over again. Although I was trying to learn how to climb rather than actually fighting her, so perhaps that's why she was winning, because she was kicking the shit out of me and I wasn't kicking the shit out of her. But either way, this game is just stupid. It's just dumb, basically. It's just a silly brawler. The controls are a bit weird. Not kind of what I was expecting. The controls, wow. I was expecting more like QWOP-y, and I suppose it kind of is, but you got your fists on the triggers, and then X to jump. But that'll also, so if you're trying to climb a wall, for example, then you'll hold down the right trigger to grab the wall with your right hand. Then whilst holding that, hold X and it pulls you up. And then left trigger to put your next hand up higher. Release right trigger and then X to pull yourself up. And yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'm starting to get the hang of it. It feels very random as to who wins. But again, like for a drunken brawler, that doesn't matter at all.
Exactly.
There's lots of levels, quite a few modes. Yeah, I mean, I think I said to you last week before we picked it up that it's got mediocre reviews, but a lot of the negative reviews were complaining about the fact that it wasn't very good single player. Yeah, there is no there's no fucking, just forget it.
It's not, like, that's not what this game is.
It's irrelevant that it has single player. The fact that you can play it alone is completely irrelevant. It's just a fun, stupid, shitty multiplayer brawler. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it on game nights.
I'm very much looking forward to playing that game.
I think Funk's picked it up now, so
Funk's got it.
So we should be able to get stuck in on Friday and see how we go.
We'll put a message out tomorrow. Be like, if you haven't got this game, just fuck off. You're not playing.
Yeah, just bear in mind that you won't be playing with us.
Yeah, we're playing it.
Yeah. Suck.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Been enjoying that. The other two games, a bit of a curveball. Firstly, I've been playing Super Mario Kart.
What, on your SNES
Yeah.
Mini? Right, yeah, cool. How's that?
Fucking so good. So good. Yeah. I mean, I had that little Switch session, didn't I? With Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, of course. And it gave me a bit of a hankering. But also, I'm off on holiday next week, and I'm going away with my sister and her fella and the family and so on. And yeah, we're staying up in like a cottage up in Derbyshire, so I think it's like the perfect thing to take along this little like travel SNES.
Nice, yeah.
So I just wanted to get it back out and see like what we could be playing on there and stuff. I think that's going to go down a treat. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here now and give some sort of review of Super Mario
Kart. I feel like we should be reviewing Super Mario Kart on the SNES right now. Yeah.
Super Mario Kart on the SNES makes very little sense on modern day televisions because it's 4:3 image and it's split screen at all times, even in single player, because of the map.
Because of the map at the bottom.
So now you're playing that on a wide screen in letterbox.
Yeah.
And then and then that split screen
to love.
Yeah, it's retarded, but it looks the business. It's really good, like the way they've got it set up with that. HDMI. I still think, even though I've got like that OpenMU where you can put filters and stuff on there, I still prefer this. Still prefer like that original. And I haven't got the sort of nostalgia a lot of people do for it. Like I never owned a SNES, but playing it kind of the way it was intended to be played on a controller that's just like the way it's supposed to be, it just works. If I'm honest, it's just really cool.
I've got mine. There you go, mate. I've got it. It's right there. SNES. Super Nintendo.
Have you got a telly you can plug that into?
I haven't got a power cable for it.
That's going to hinder you somewhat.
Maybe I can convert it to solar power.
I'd imagine so, buddy. That sounds easy.
I need a AC 9 volt, 1.3 amp. There you go.
Yeah.
If anyone's got one. I haven't.
Yeah. So there you know. Now you know.
Well,
that's the way it is. So yeah, taking that along with me.
Question from Dave again. Here he is. How do you cope with the short controller cables on the mini SNES?
It's longer than on the NES one. It was a massive problem on the NES one. It's still too short on the SNES, but it's not so bad. I mean, I'm probably 6 feet from my TV, and it's long enough for that. So I suppose if you had like a really big living room, then you'd be in bother. You'd probably have to sit cross-legged on the floor in front of the TV, possibly as intended as the way it was when I was like 7.
They do, yeah. I know they definitely do extensions, which aren't very expensive for them. But I feel like, I've got the 8-bit DOE fucking Bluetoothy wireless SNES controller with the analog sticks. I'm pretty sure they do a wireless adapter for it.
Okay.
I might be completely wrong there, though.
Well, this may well come into play because, as you well know,
hello.
They have cracked this machine now, and so I'm wondering if I'm going to have time before I head off on Saturday morning to do whatever needs to be done there and chuck 200 more games on it. So I'm not sure. We'll see. But that's certainly a consideration. Not that I'm condoning that sort of thing.
Oh no, definitely not. And I also believe that I think they've managed to emulate the SNES Mini on the Switch as well now.
Okay,
which is kind of cool.
Very nice.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well,
not condoning it though.
It seems unlikely that Nintendo would send a representative round to extract proof of me cracking their little SNES box. I think they'll probably just suck it up, frankly.
I reckon so. I mean, they've done it with like the 3DS, the DS. In the past, fuck it. we'll put it at a loss. You know,
There you go.
it's one of those
what can
things.
you do?
It's the Nintendo way.
It is.
like,
yeah.
And with
forbid.
the Wii, that was ridiculous. That was,
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate. Yeah. So
it didn't
yeah,
take long to crack that one. Like, I think it was only about 3 months, and it was like, yep, there's your mod chip. And then like a few months later, it was like, yep, there's your soft mod.
are they
well.
are they naive or just fucking stupid? I don't really know.
I don't know.
It's one of those though, isn't
To
it?
be
Take your
fair,
pick.
with the Switch, it wasn't their fault. It was whatever it is, Nvidia's fault.
It's
Because
still
it's the
their fault
chip
for
that's-
picking that chip.
Oh yeah, they could have. Yeah, they could have put the newer one in there, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, or made absolutely certain that this wouldn't be able to happen
Wow,
before selecting it for their new system.
that's true.
I don't know. So let me move on to my final game, which is also on a retro console, buddy. But
No.
that makes me feel a little old.
It's not, is it? Really, a retro console? I mean, you've got to be a massive ball bag to call it a retro console.
Classic retro console, the
Classic.
Xbox 360,
Yeah.
buddy. I've been playing Splinter Cell Conviction, and I'll tell you for why. I'm clearly quite impressionable because I've been playing Super Mario Kart because I had a little tinkle on the Switch. And I've been playing Splinter Cell Conviction because it was rumoured the new Splinter Cell might be arriving, and I was going in my head, just because I'm that sort of retard, I was going in my head like, fucking Splinter Cell, Splinter Cell, fucking so good, Splinter Cell. Oh, that Conviction, fucking that was so good. I could just play that. I've got that. I could just play.
So
I
you
did.
did play it, and rating?
It's a 10 out of 10 game.
It's a cracking game.
It is such a good game, and there was such outrage from Splinter Cell diehard fans at the time because it was kind of Hollywooding up things a little bit. Like, for example, you could mark
text on the
maybe
walls, mate.
You could mark 3 targets and kill them all with the press of one button, and people were arguing, and I think I was probably that sort of cunt who was arguing it at the time, that that's not really in the spirit of this like intense tactical stealth game. But man, it's
Video
just
games.
cool. Yeah, like
Video games.
got to that early like section where you're interrogating the dude and you're just like battering his head through urinals and stuff.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it? Like, I'm never going to forget that.
It's such a cool
cutscene.
game.
So
It
good.
really is, and the stealth parts are brilliantly designed as well. And there's something to be said for these heavily curated stealth games. Like, I was enjoying my Phantom Pain. I know Far Cry's got some good stealth and stuff in there, but you can't really beat a linear level that's specifically designed for you to either be able to sneak through it or not. With all the sort of
Hitman.
pipes and different routes. Hitman's good, but the
it's
Splinter
good.
Cell stealth, the way that you can like hang off of pipes and reach down and break people's necks, or like, all of that stuff.
There's a lot.
It's
going on there.
fantastic.
It's very, very good.
This game stands up brilliantly, and I would argue that it probably performs and plays better than the more recent game, the Blacklist one, because the Blacklist one suffers from that problem you get with games at the very end of a cycle where they're throwing textures at it and it just doesn't have the beans anymore.
Yeah,
and it
it's
all
a
just
shame.
looks a bit like an N64 game, like a PS1 game, like a mushy mess.
And then you upscale it and find out that there's loads of penises in there.
That can happen. And has. Brilliant game. I really do hope that the rumours are true, although Ubisoft in their current state, I wouldn't trust them to fucking boil an egg.
That rumour, is it in the news?
It's not in my news.
Is it? Well, it's in the news that Rage 2's official now.
Yes.
And
everything that was leaked has come true, so it looks like it very much is going to be the case, isn't it?
Yeah, well, apart from Forza Horizon 5.
Forza Horizon 5, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the only thing that's letting it down a little bit.
Yeah. I suspect that was a typo rather than an incorrect leak. But
maybe.
We shall see very soon.
Imagine if they were like, yeah, fuck it. Forza Horizon 5. Don't worry about 4. We canned that one. It was shit.
Could be. Yeah. No, it's coming. I'm sure it is. And I can't wait, really. It's so good. But
oh, yeah.
Probably suck balls. We'll see.
Maybe.
Finally this week, we've both been playing. This was on game night. Project Cars 2, which we obviously we've spoken about loads in the past, but I did want to highlight this new mode that I sort of worked out how to use with a little bit of help from Funk a few weeks ago, and this was the first time that we had all 6 of us on for it to be
still
sort of,
waiting for the 5 people one, so I can fucking play Evolve.
yeah, never gonna happen. Never again.
I feel like it is never going to happen. I bought that
4
game,
or
spent
6.
£3 on that game. And
Waste
I'm so
down the
excited.
drain.
Fucking wasted so far. I might just have to play it solo, see how I get on.
That'll be a riot, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure I'll have a ball of a time.
Absolute hoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we played Project Cars 2, and there's a mode in Project Cars 2 in the community section that allows you to make a community championship. Now, this is probably designed, I say probably designed, it is definitely designed for communities, like big communities of like players of Project Cars, of like websites, you know, if you've got a big old Discord going, kind of like your Dad's a Destiny, but a racing equivalent. And that's great, but it could also be used for just an evening's racing or a couple of weeks of racing. And it's really customizable championship mode where you can basically bring all the players in that you want. You can add them to the race, and then you can choose their cars, make a proper championship season. You can pick all the individual tracks, so you can pick as many as you want in all different configurations. You can set the weather and the laps and the time of day bespoke for every single track that you select. And then you can set a date for when that race is going to occur, a real-time date. Obviously, we set it up so that they were all on Friday so that we could play them one after the other. But I just have to say, like, I was really impressed with this mode. Like, it's proper cool. It's got the added element of the fact that you can put teams together, so you can have as many teams as you want. We did 3 teams of 2. You could just as easily have done 2 teams of 3. It's very, very cool, and it really added an element to the racing to have like a teammate and a scoreboard that was ticking over and keeping kind of track of things. I really appreciate the customization of this thing, and it's just some of the best racing that I think we've ever had.
It was very cool. Points mean prizes.
Gibbons, it's great. I mean, the idea that you can make I could basically effectively set up a weekly race for us so that we could play like a community race every Friday, and that would slowly tot up over the course of like months and months, and it'd keep kind of track of our progress in real time. And I just think that's really cool. You can set like time trial sessions to last over the course of like a week or so everyone could kind of at some point during the week qualify for the final race at the weekend. It's just really cool. I just think it's very, very cool, and it's worth highlighting because Slightly Mad Studios in the past, there have been holes in the sort of UI and the different stuff that their games can do. There's not always been brilliantly thought out, but I think this is just fantastic, frankly. So there you go.
I love it.
Gibbons. That's all I wanted to say, really, buddy. It was fun, wasn't it?
Holy shit balls. Cosmic Dad has just donated £5.
There you go.
I think that's a first for a live stream.
I think
fuck
you're right.
me, buddy. What a leg end. Absolute fucking...
Here's to you, sir. I raise my G&T.
Yeah, our pint of gin. This
Yeah.
one's for you, buddy.
Legend. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel pretty good right now. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm going to top up my drink.
Fuck me.
Sorry, I'm going to refresh my drink.
Get that gin in there. Well, I believe that's probably about it for playing games this week. Oh, I can't believe I'm still awake. I'm doing good. Here we are.
Flying along. It's beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
We'll move on now, buddy. Let's move on. And now it's time for the news.
Fucking news. Oh, what are we doing?
Alright. Number one.
Number Wang.
Nintendo are finally launching an official Switch charging stand, buddy. Massive news here. Stop
year
the
later.
press. This is for when the console is in kickstand mode. At the moment, you have no real way of charging it in that sort of situation. This is a stand that will allow you to do that. That's nice, isn't it? It launches in early July and it will be about £20. What do you think of that?
But fucking time, lad. Jesus Christ. Have you seen it? It's quite a nice little bit of kit, actually.
It's lovely, isn't it?
You pop it in there and it charges it. And obviously, if it's plugged in, it charges it. And it does the job, because that's always been a fucking issue with being able to... I've seen countless people on Reddit and stuff posting images of how they're charging their Switch whilst playing it in that. And I think the best one that I've seen is just like a corner desk, and they're just like, they just pop it the middle bit off the corner and then plug it in. I'm like, that's nice and simple. That works really well. But obviously, this is a better way of doing it. And it's got the good thing is it is adjustable, which I was like, if it's a fixed angle, that's a bit shit. But no,
isn't it a bit of a
adjustable.
Design flaw?
Wow, yeah.
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 I'm not going anywhere
so.
with it, obviously. This is Nintendo, but...
exactly. It will happen.
Yeah, okay.
It's a really nice, elegant solution. They've done well. They've obviously seen some of the hash jobs that have been out there. I mean, I could probably find a 3D printed version of this.
There you go.
And print it off at work. Maybe I will. I'll add it to the shit things that I'm going to print off.
Chuck it on the list, buddy.
Chuck it on the list with my PS4 controller holder and stuff.
Love it. In other Switch news, Monster Hunter is arriving on the platform this August. God knows how that will run. All 3 Banner Saga games are also coming to the Switch this year. And the first one is out next week, buddy.
Woo!
Cool games, those Banner Saga games.
They are very cool games. I have number 2 on the PC, which I've never played. One day, maybe. Probably not.
Probably not. But yeah, nice to see Nintendo getting some more games out. Nice to see them supporting it with the stand thing. It's still retarded, the design of it, but I suppose in terms of Nintendo peripherals, that seems like a weirdly reasonable price for a first party accessory. I'd expect them to have slapped like 45 quid on that, frankly, but
I kind of saw that coming, but yeah, 20 quid's not too bad.
It's alright, isn't it? And $20 in the States as well, apparently.
Yeah, so. Conversion rates.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck it.
So, number two. All Xbox One and Microsoft Store PC games are now available to gift to people. This is just a cool thing that's been on Steam forever that lets you buy a game and send it as a gift to another user. You can now do that with your Xbox One games and also, of course, the Microsoft store, I suppose the Xbox PC storefront or whatever. So I've always liked that, haven't you? It's cool, isn't it?
Giving is the best gift.
There you go.
It's a saying that no one said before.
It's fucking beautiful. I'm sure no one has ever said that.
I reckon so.
Yeah. Move on. Rocket League cross-party play, buddy, in the shape of more interesting and fun things. Rocket League cross-party play is coming this summer. This is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It will add an in-game friends list and allow you to party up with players, regardless of which platform they're on, and then play together. So you can create that party on the main menu screen. If you're on PC, you can invite your Xbox One and your Switch friends, and then you can all play on the same team against whatever configuration of other people. Obviously, due to Sony's continuing twattishness, the PS4 can't play with the Xbox One and the Switch, so PC and PS4 players can play together. If you're on an Xbox One, then you can play with PC and Switch players, but not PS4 because Sony are twattish, so there we go.
It's always nice. Always nice.
That's really cool, though. I really do like that. And
Fortnite's got that.
Has it?
It has, yeah. I had the 2 PlayStations going, and I was on the PC a few weeks ago. We were a team of 3. It was fun.
Okay.
One house to rule them all.
Yeah, Gibbons. Very nice too.
I could have. I don't know if it'll work with that. It's on iOS as well now, I think, isn't it? I could have got my missus's phone and gone on that. I could have gone as a team of 4.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd have been fun.
What a crazy world we live in.
I know, crazy times, but yeah.
Well, anything that lets people play together, even if they haven't got the same console as their friends or whatever, is a cool thing. So, very nice.
It just makes sense this day and age. Like, I mean, come on. Who throws a shoe?
Gibbons. And, platform holders, I don't believe they should necessarily, block that sort of shit. It doesn't make very much sense for anyone and kind of just hinders the industry. So, there you go. But then, Microsoft have only sold about 25 Xbox Ones, as we learnt last week, so I suppose they can afford to take the risk. Sorry, that was naughty of me. I'll move on.
A little bit.
Sony announces E3 show. That's not really news. Of course, Sony was going to have an E3 show, but they have kind of surprised us by sort of highlighting what the show's going to involve, and they're saying it will focus on 4 main exclusives. 4 specific PlayStation exclusives: Kojima's Death Stranding, Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima, Insomniac's Spider-Man, and Naughty Dog's The Last of Us Part 2. Which is cool. I mean, I don't really see how normally they're like an hour and a half or at a minimum, so I don't see how. Basically, all they're saying is those 4 games will be there, as far as I can tell, and maybe there'll be fairly lengthy looks at them. I mean, I would argue, buddy, that of those, only Spider-Man has a release date of this year. I reckon Last of Us 2 will be out this year as well, but Death Stranding certainly isn't coming out this year, is it? And neither's Ghost of Tsushima, so I don't know. What do you make of that? Like, focusing on 4 games, I think that's kind of just a marketing ploy. They're kind of sticking the knife in while Microsoft basically has nothing going on first-party wise right now, or at least kind of saying what you fucking got kind of thing.
It's going to be a complete waste of time. I love it.
I don't know if I want to see any more of The Last of Us.
What's the fucking... we're not... It's not going to go into much depth. They'll do... Sorry. They'll do what they did with Uncharted. They'll boot it up, it'll crash, then they'll boot it up again and be like, look, we're actually playing it. And be like, okay, yeah, maybe... Fool me once. Shame on me. Yeah, and that lot.
I mean, obviously, I'm interested in all of those games.
Yeah, obviously, but we're not going to hear massive details about them, are we? Like I said, there's going to be a little level of The Last of Us 2. Everyone's going to jizz their pants, obviously, because it's going to be amazing. And then there's going to be gameplay of Spider-Man this year, and then that's it. I mean, how are they going to talk for an hour about 4 games?
Exactly. That's why it's just stupid.
2 of them, they're only going to be little trailers and stuff. I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, I don't think you are. I think what they're doing is just name dropping at this point, and it's not actually going to affect the makeup of the show very much. But at least we know those 4 games are there. Obviously, they were going to be. So yeah, as you say, complete waste of time. But
I reckon there's going to be some Destiny 2 thrown in there, because obviously Sony have got the exclusive bollocks to Destiny 2 content. That's the word. Yeah. So that should be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Last of Us, I don't want to see any more of The Last of Us, frankly. I don't want anything spoiled. So I know that game's going to be something I want to play, so I don't really need to see any more. I don't think I'll watch whatever they put out. Spider-Man looks great, to be honest. It looks like exactly the sort of game that gets sort of 9s and 10s, and I never play. And Death Stranding is...
I think I'm going to play it,
Do you reckon? I mean, it's probably going to be cool.
So.
But it's not the sort of game I normally buy, if I'm honest. Not these days.
Hey, you know what we're like? We'll buy any shit.
That's true. I'm far more interested in Ghost of Tsushima than anything else, if I'm honest. But that's because I know I'm going to get The Last of Us anyway. So,
yeah, true.
But yeah, there you go. So that's Sony's E3 show, and not long now. We're only a month away, so that's why all of these are coming out.
Gibbons.
Move on. I've got a few more bits and pieces. A leak from a Dutch website claims EA has picked up the Champions League and Europa League licenses for FIFA, following the agreement between UEFA and Konami expiring. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. The only question really was whether...
Do you think Konami are actually just slowly dwindling down on this, and they're like, fuck it, who gives a shit?
I don't know. I mean...
But they've been pushing for other teams though and stuff like Barcelona and Fulham and Liverpool and stuff. So,
judging by the number of hours that I've played, and I checked this the other day, by the way, I've played. Let's just leave it at this. I've played hundreds of hours of this year's PES. Hundreds.
Not thousands yet, then.
Not thousands, but
Okay.
heading towards 300.
Nice.
And I don't give a fuck about the Champions League license. I played that mode once. They don't even have the Champions League license doesn't immediately give you the license to all the teams in the Champions League.
That's true. Yeah.
So Porto were in there, but they weren't licensed. And if the game's not got every team, which is never going to have every team, then anyone who buys PES annually doesn't give a fuck about the licenses. They don't care because they'll patch it. And who cares if I have to patch 3 leagues or 4? I don't care. It makes no odds to me whatsoever. Within a week and a half of the game coming out, I will have a fully licensed version of the game with all the proper kits.
Exactly,
because
and
people are lovely and they'll put that work in for me, and then I can download it.
Maybe that's what they're thinking now. They've got their diehard PES fans that are there. Are they just going to cater for them? Because what's the point of spending all this extra money on licensed team when it just gets patched into the game for free anyway?
Well, I think that the problem is that you need to balance that with appealing to possible new players, and I think
new players,
they're going to lose. They're going to lose the ability to, they may well retain players. I don't see why anyone would jump across to FIFA because this year's PES is far better gameplay-wise than this year's FIFA. So I've no intention of moving across. We've got diehard fans of FIFA who have switched. Friend of the podcast, Pete, he traded in his FIFA copy halfway through the year. I swear to God that has never happened, but it's because PES is that fucking good this year. It is such a good game. But yeah, I don't see how they bring in any new players with the bells and whistles required to cultivate a massive audience. They can't really do that. All they're relying on is sensible people who are like, which game's better? And unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. So, I think it's a bit of a worry. It depends very much on what they announce. They've said that they've got new leagues this season. That's going to be nailed on that they're going to have Serie A. They've got Serie A, but they didn't have the Spanish league or the German league this year. I'd imagine they'll have both of those for the next game. And that's cool. That's fine. And if it sells well in mainland Europe, then that's cool. But I don't know. It must be an incredibly difficult thing to do each year to try and you can't really compete with a juggernaut like FIFA. You're never going to. So how do you kind of just keep your game relevant, I suppose? And
I think the fact that they every year for the past couple of years they've put out their free version, which is just the become a legend or whatever it is. Be a pro? No,
My Club.
My Club. That's the one. That shit. Do you reckon that actually gets quite a lot of attention?
I really don't know. I really have no idea on the stats of that, and Konami are never going to provide them. But I don't.
Also, do you reckon that mode has the 3-player co-op? Because if so, we should just do that.
I don't know what it's got. I've never really investigated it because I buy the game every year.
I know, right? But if that had the 3-player co-op, we could just fucking do that. Just say.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what.
But then you wouldn't have all the teams and all the fun of the Master League and stuff, though, would it?
Yeah. It's going to be interesting anyway to see what they announce this year. But either way, it looks like FIFA's picked up those licenses. They've got every license other than that, so why not? They've had it before as well, and if they want to pay for it, then fine. Who cares? Frankly, the gameplay's not as good. We can't be too far away from the demos. We're probably only 8 weeks or so away from the 2 demos now that usually come out in the summer. So I suppose we'll judge it properly then. But for now, we will move on.
Evans.
Rage 2, one of the Walmart leaks here, buddy. It was leaked that Rage 2 existed. It was sort of semi-confirmed. It's now official and has a trailer. It's being developed by Avalanche, which is the team behind Just Cause and Mad Max.
Just Caused.
Cool open-world games that suffered with performance issues. I think it would be fair to say. Rage 2.
Yeah.
I had the original Rage. Did you play that game?
I don't know.
That's the problem, buddy. You probably wouldn't remember if you did. I bought that game secondhand for like £18 or something on the 360.
Yeah.
And I played it for a couple of hours, and then I traded it in again, as far as I remember. It was just not that good, and it had lots of elements that could have been good. It's essentially Mad Max. So I suppose with Avalanche making it, they can probably use a lot of that existing tech. Certainly from the trailers, it looks like they are using some of that existing tech. But I can't get past the fact that the original game was just so uninteresting and half-baked. and granted that the old team aren't making this one, but I don't know, we'll see. The trailers are very like metal music, explosions sort of thing. But
I like that.
I can't imagine.
I'm a fan of both of those things.
It's just not. It's not a franchise anyone was really calling out for. So
I know, but I think that's kind of what's cool about it. It's like one of those games. It's like, man, and then like obviously it gets leaked, and they're like, oh shit, we need to like put something out about this. And in the chat, Dave's there as well. He's saying that like the trailer looks awesome. It does.
It does. Yeah, it does. And as I said, like Avalanche, like the way that Mad Max plays is pretty decent, and the open world nature of it is pretty cool as well.
If it's like an open world Doom, how would you feel about that?
It does. It's worth noting that the first person shooting in the trailer does look very reminiscent of Doom.
Like Doom.
Yeah, it does. And yeah.
So it's like Doom with vehicles. Mate, to me, this looks fucking awesome.
It's going to come down to the multiplayer mechanics here. Like, what's the state of play going to be? Is this an open world with clans?
Mate, I'm buying it, and it's like no questions. Like, it's going to be awesome.
But could it be a mini MMO sort of thing? Could it be like,
even better,
20 players to a map and so on? I don't know. I suppose
Battle Royale.
That's kind of interesting. Yeah, 100 players.
100 players. Mate, it looks very, very cool.
It looks nice. It will probably run at 10 frames per second, but it does look nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, maybe 12 on the Pro.
Although it's not continuing that, I've seen a lot of trailers recently, especially when I'm watching like the videos of games that are coming out each week, where there's like masses of like latency and frame drops in the trailer. I just find that so bizarre. Like, are you basically saying
do that.
We can't help it? Like, we can't stop it?
No, this runs like balls from the get-go. I guess they're not lying, That's one good thing.
I guess not. Bit weird, though. Bit weird. Either way, we'll see with Rage. Obviously, there's not going to be like a mega announcement now because everyone knows about it, but there's gameplay available online you can watch already, so take a look, buddies.
Woo!
Next, Boss Key closes its doors following the overwhelming failure of Lawbreakers, which was actually quite a good game. Cliff Bleszinski says new venture Radical Heights was just too little too late, his words. He's going to be taking a break from the industry while deciding his next move. It's a real shame, I think, because they're like clearly a super talented studio. Having said that, I wasn't especially impressed by them like just abandoning Lawbreakers and then announcing and releasing, but it kind of explains it. They were obviously right on the ragged edge. They needed to get something out.
They needed something.
It was a last hurrah.
Yeah, of course it was. It was something they could do. I mean, it was very unfortunate with Lawbreakers because I don't know. I had high hopes for that because
the timing of it. I think.
The timing of it. No one really got into it. I mean, the concept of it. Like I played the beta and really enjoyed it. The fact that it was like 35 quid, so it was cheaper than Overwatch and stuff at the time. But obviously, everyone's just playing Overwatch. So they thought, fuck it, I'm not going to buy Lawbreakers.
I think that's it. They just missed the boat.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what they were doing with Radical Heights. Like you say, one last hurrah, but it just looked utter ball bags to me.
It looks as though
unpolished and just filthy and just crap.
They obviously just like vommed a game out to try and make some money to salvage things, and you can't really blame them for that, I suppose.
No, obviously not.
But yeah,
it had BMXs in it though. That was cool.
It looked like it looked like a half-baked mess of selection of ideas that could have actually made a brilliant video game if they worked on it for 3 or 4 years.
Refined. Yeah, exactly. But that ain't gonna happen.
So I'm
big shame, really. Big shame.
I'm sure he'll be back, but obviously. Never a good sign when people like lose their jobs. So pretty much sucks balls, frankly. So that's the end of Boss Key. We will move on. Project Cars Go has been announced. There's a mobile version of Project Cars. Slightly Mad has actually released a series of mobile games in the past, all of them terrible. So make of that what you will.
Hey.
But it's Project Cars Go. What's with this Go thing? Obviously no one's patented it.
It's on the go, innit? It's on the go. You're on the go.
It's a bit cheap after Square have kind of already cornered that market, I suppose. But
Hitman Go. Isn't the Mario Kart mobile game going to be called Mario Kart Go? I don't know. I can't remember.
Don't know. Well, either way, that's
I would
coming out.
look it up, but fuck it.
Obviously, I have no interest in that. Now, finally from me, Metro Exodus is delayed till 2019, and so is Shenmue 3, buddy. There's 2 games there. I thought Metro would come out this year, so that's disappointing. I didn't think Shenmue 3 would come out this year, nor do I think it ever will. So that wasn't especially a surprise to me. But yeah, there's a couple of delays there, buddies, to keep you up to date. So yeah, there you go. Lots of news from me, buddy. But of course,
holy shit.
Time to hand over to you now, I think, for my favourite section, and I'm sure the listeners as well, and that would be Ash's News Favourite Things of the Week.
If you like news but hate information, you have found the right place. Ash's News Favourite Thing of the Week.
Cheers, buddy. Let me just talk about the Discord channel while it loads up, because, we're on Discord.
Yeah, we are.
We've got a chat room where, you can see me skateboarding, and it's loaded, so fuck that. So this week, what have we got? Rage 2 something. Yeah, we've spoken about that. What else have we got? What is this? I don't even know what that is. Oh, this is a nice one. Steam Link app on your phone, Android and OS. Lets you play your Steam games on your phone or tablet.
Oh, very nice.
Very handy, obviously. You've been able to do this with like laptops and obviously the Steam Link itself if you bought one of them. But yeah, now you can just stream all your games to your phones and tablets, which is kind of handy. Yeah.
Very nice too.
Do you like that?
I do. I'd bloody love it, mate.
Ooh,
feeling rigid.
Like oh, what's this? I got something about Days Gone dev dishes on PS4 Pro. I don't care about that anymore. Long dormant Half-Life 2 co-op mod Obsidian conflicting something. Let's open this up, see what it says. Oh, it's getting a Steam release. Oh, okay. Half-Life 2 co-op mod Obsidian conflict is getting a Steam release. There you go.
That's
if you want to play
very cool.
Half-Life 2 with me on Steam, you can.
I can do that. I've got it on my Mac.
There you go. Maybe we'll play Half-Life 2. I love that game.
I would love to do that.
Amazing. That's a great game, Half-Life 2.
I'll get that installed.
When are they gonna make another one? I think I literally deleted it the other day because fucking C Drive was like, I need space. And I'm like, oh, Half-Life 2's on there. Yeah. When am I going to play that again? This week.
This week. I'll get that shit downloaded, buddy, so we can talk about that on the show.
That'd be really cool.
Very cool.
What else have I got? That's it, mate. Fuck, shit. That's ball bags, really,
out with a bang, though, buddy. I fucking enjoyed that. That's beautiful.
Like the other stuff is like Boss Keys getting shut down and Rage 2 coming out some point whenever it does. So yeah, not a lot this week. I thought I had more than that, but obviously I'm just being lazy.
Well, not to worry, buddy. We've got it between us. That was your news. Before that, of course, was my news, buddies. And that was the news. And now it's time for Out This Week.
That's out this week.
Fucking is as well.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. Great minds. The slow erosion of swearing by overuse until we've got nowhere to go except cunt.
There's always cunt.
Good name for a band.
Great name.
Nowhere to go except
with a K,
cunt.
obviously.
Obviously. So this week we have quite a lot of stuff, actually. So
There is. I copied and pasted this earlier. Look at that.
yeah, I like it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
I will. Here we go. Mega Man Legacy Collection and Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 are arriving on the Switch this week, buddy. Will you be picking those up?
I played one Mega Man game in the past, and I don't know which one it was. I kind of enjoyed it from what I remember of my youth. No.
I played that piece of shit fucking spiritual successor thing that we got. Oh,
that
Lucky
one.
Number 9 or something.
Yeah.
Man, that's a load of fucking...
That's a film, isn't it? Lucky Number 9.
That'd be Slevin, buddy. Slevin.
Ah, Slevin. Okay.
Mighty.
Go on.
Mighty Number 9.
Mighty. Yeah.
Yeah. Balls, don't bother. But these were good.
Slevin, you're right.
So maybe you want to play those instead. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe they'll be good.
Yeah, not sure.
Next. That's out this week.
There you go. It's out this week.
they're
Also,
out this
State of
week.
Decay 2 is out this week, which is confusing because I'm pretty sure I said last week it was out this week.
It's out again this
It's out
week.
again
though.
this week. So if you didn't pick up State of Decay 2 last week, then you can pick it up this week, buddies. It's out this week. That's on PC and Xbox One. And of course, you can gift it to a friend if you're that way inclined.
Indeed.
Yeah. Space Hulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition is out this week
Sure.
on the PC.
course it is.
This is it's a remastered 2016 sci-fi shooter that didn't review particularly well.
2016.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
It's
Could have just, updated the previous one.
I suppose it's enhanced rather than
Enhanced.
remastered.
Yeah, okay.
It looks a lot of fun.
Okay, fair dues.
It does. It really does look a lot of fun, I have to say. Whether it is
You're
a lot of
just
fun, I
Googling
mean,
and YouTubing.
well, Steam
taking part
kind
right
of
now.
suggests that it wasn't very good at all. But it is coming to PS4 as well as PC.
Okay.
It's a Games Workshop game. It's that whole sort of Warhammer vibe. So fair enough. But
No, this looks really slow and clunky and boring.
he's not keen.
I'm not... Where's my speed?
I mean,
I get it. I'm in a big suit of armour, but still.
they've accidentally launched in the same window as the Rage 2 trailer, and now Ash doesn't want to know.
I just want fast explosions in my face.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, that's out this week if you fancy it. We've also got Ancestors Legacy on the PC and Xbox One. Now, this is a medieval, well, it's Vikings, I think, real-time strategy game, which I find quite interesting that it's coming to Xbox One, because this is a proper RTS. So I don't know exactly how that's going to work.
Plug your keyboard and mouse in.
I suppose so.
Away you go.
Yeah, Fortnite style. You could just plug in and fucking take it
Fuck
away.
it. Who cares? Who cares?
I mean, it's got to work on a controller, hasn't it? If it's coming to Xbox One, so
Obviously, it has to work on a controller.
that's always the biggest battle. Really, is getting that thing to work. I mean, to be honest, I think that they miss a trick really when they do these kind of controller jobs where you don't really need to have everything on different buttons. Like, just have your 2 or 3 buttons like a mouse. Just use the 4 face buttons and have X as select things and have square as right click. I just don't think you need to accommodate the entire controller. I think you would do better by just having analog stick is mouse, X is select things.
Okay, A is move, X is select local, left bumper's previous squad,
Yeah, they're
R1 is squad menu,
ignoring me.
B is select, Y is jump, I think that says. Our right bumper is next squad. Right bumper and Y is a red thing. Right bumper and X is a brown thing. Left bumper and Y looks like health. So they've gone all out there.
They've gone all out. I mean, obviously,
with
I'm
your buttons
I'm simplifying
and the
to a degree
combinations.
in that you don't have a keyboard to play with, so you do need to put stuff on sort of buttons to a degree.
You need hotkeys, really.
Halo Wars did it perfect,
They did good.
and they used lots of wheels and stuff to kind of compartmentalize, and it worked. But
Yeah.
Either way, this is an RTS coming to consoles, and I'm always interested in those. So I think we'll keep an eye on that and see how it gets on. We move on for now. Tennis World Tour is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. This is
Tennis!
a tennis game, Ash's favourite.
Yes. I'd
mean-
rather buy handball.
This is a game by Big Ben Interactive. I've spoken about them before, usually kind of like B-movie-esque video games. I had a little look at some gameplay of this, a little walkthrough of people talking about it. What I kind of took from it was graphically it's poor, which is exactly what I'd expect from a Big Ben game. It looks shite, frankly. I think Virtua Tennis 2008 didn't look worse. And that was 10 years ago. Having said that,
I mean, how good can you make a tennis ball look? Really, it's like, I mean, I feel like they perfected it in Pong.
That's
Round.
true to a degree, but when you're playing on a clay court and the fucking texture resolutions are poor, then you fucking phoned it in, haven't you? Or you can't make your engine run properly. It's probably the latter, because they don't seem lazy,
that is true.
especially judging by the number of games they put out each year. But
Because, you haven't got to render a big crowd, because there aren't any.
it shouldn't be hard. I don't know a lot about game design, but I know that having lots of things on the screen makes life more difficult, and in tennis, you don't have a lot of things on the screen. No. It's like struggling to get a golf game to run properly. Most of the time, there's fuck all going on. If you can't do that, stop making video games. What I will say is there's a perk system of some description where you've got almost like a kind of card system of perks depending on the player that you have, and you can select different combinations of them for each game and each point kind of thing. So if you've got if your player's tiring, you can kind of select like a second wind perk and that sort of thing, which is kind of interesting. Normally you wouldn't have like that sort of bullshit in a sports game. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, probably a bad one, frankly, but it was interesting to see something, them trying to do something different other than, I mean, to be honest, you don't really like tennis games, do you? And it's probably because they're all the fucking same. So
I'm sorry, I've fallen asleep.
he's gone. It's all over. The mocapping is really good. It stood out, probably because the graphics are shite. It stood out that the mocapping is excellent. But even then, and I'm kind of overanalyzing some gameplay footage on YouTube here, so I'm being a bit of a cunt, but then I am one, so it comes very naturally. The mocap's excellent, except the transitions between the different sections of mocap aren't excellent. So you've got
They just don't work.
a perfectly smooth human serve, and then a sort of clip into the next like forehand or backhand animation. It's just not quite there. But
A bit spazzy.
I'm well up for a tennis game, to be honest. So this would probably I'd imagine this would go down in price pretty quick. I think they'd admit that as much as me.
Don Bradman cricket didn't. That stayed at the still 60 quid.
That's true.
I feel like this is where that's going to stay.
Could well be. Basically, there's 2 tennis games out on the store within a week of each other by sort of B-grade studios. So take your pick, I suppose. I really want a tennis game. I love tennis games, but I'm not convinced. They need to pop a demo out, really, but they probably won't.
That'd be good. I'd play that
Yeah,
at least once.
give it a go. We move on. I'm just talking on and on about fucking shitty tennis games.
Please.
Star Trek
Go
Bridge
on.
Crew, The Next Generation. I talked about it last
All right,
week.
I'll be back in about 10 minutes. I'll see you in a bit.
That's coming to PS4 and PC for virtual reality. You can also play it outside VR. Is the next-gen add-on for Star Trek Bridge Crew. We have Runner 3 on the PC and Switch. This is a sort of an endless runner. It's got nice graphics for basically a mobile game that's coming to PC and Switch. I Hate Running Backwards is a game that's coming out this week, buddy, on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. This is like a top-down 3D scroller, but it scrolls up. So the screen's constantly heading upwards, so you have to keep moving up north, I suppose, in the top-down world. But all enemies spawn below you. So all the enemies are coming from where the camera is moving up. So you are basically running backwards at all times with your little dude, shooting back down the road that you've just run along.
That sounds weird.
It is weird, but it looks quite cool. A little bit basic, but a nice premise. And if it plays well, then it's an interesting arcade game, I suppose. Nearly there. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. That would be a good PS Plus game. Yes, it would. Oh. It certainly would. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is coming out this week on PC, PS4, Vita, Xbox One, Switch, and 3DS.
Go on the Vita!
The reason it's coming out on all of those is because it is an 8-bit Castlevania clone. And as such, it nails it. It absolutely nails it. If you're interested in that sort of thing, if you want to play your sort of real retro Castlevania-esque games, then you could easily... It's the sort of game that if you went back in time and chucked it in an arcade machine in, like, 1993, no one would notice that it didn't belong there. And that's a testament to the design and the build quality of what they've done. It really does look the business in terms of your, like, proper old school 8-bit, 16-bit retro era.
I don't get it.
you know, you either like that or you don't, but it certainly does a good job of what it's trying to achieve by the looks of things. So there you go. Finally, we've got Dark Souls Remastered, PC, PS4 and Xbox One. You can do one, I've no interest. And Detroit Become Human is coming to PS4 this week, and I don't care about that either. And that's out this week, buddy.
That's out this week.
Now it's time for Fuckwit Corner.
Fuckwit Corner with Funk. Fuckwit Corner with Funk. He's got some questions for Funk.
You got any questions, buddy?
Funk says this, buddy. I did ask for a little bit of a blurb on Far Cry. Obviously, Funk's picked this up. He picked it up when it was on the deal of the week on the PlayStation Store. And
deal of the week.
I can tell from my every time I come online on my friends list, he's been tucking into this. Funk's always been a Far Cry fan, but at the same time, he knows whether something's great or not. And he says this. I reckon every element of Far Cry is an improvement, buddies. The story is good, the acting is okay, and there's plenty of comedy in it. The biggest improvement is the side quest, fetch quest type of mission. There's a lot more variety, and they feel like much less of a waste of time. The world just seems fuller, and there's something to do depending on your mood, which I like. I still reckon the co-op element is what would take it to a new level, though. Hint, hint. I've added that, but yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. He's a fan. I understand.
Kind of echoes the sentiments of the reviewers. It's the best Far Cry game, but it is a Far Cry game. You like that or you don't.
Yeah, and that's it. I don't know. Maybe I would. I don't know. Like, literally, I think when this game goes like 30 quid, we'll pick it up and give it a blitz.
I think that's absolutely the thing. I mean, it would appear that I'm only willing to play like one big story game at a time at the moment.
Yeah.
I've nearly finished LA Noire. I'm in like the last hour of LA Noire now. I've then got God of War to go all the way through. Yeah. And I'll be looking for something after that, but I'd imagine that
I really need to pick God of War up again, but every time I turn on my console, I'm like, just do a bit more grinding on Destiny 2. Idiot. Yeah. I know, right? Seriously, I've got issues. Don't worry about it.
Well, the first step is to notice them, buddy. So that's...
I know, I acknowledge my issues, but, you know, I'm happy with them, so I'm just going to keep doing it.
Gibbons. There you go.
Fuck you all.
That's fair play.
I am who I am.
Well, yeah, I think we will pick up Far Cry at some point. I just don't know exactly when, as you say. There will come a point when we log onto the store one day, that thing is like 25 quid, and we just fucking pull the trigger. You know it'll happen.
Of course we do.
It's just a case of when.
Gibbons.
But
it will happen.
But yeah, thanks so much for that, Funk. Thank you for answering the cry and letting us know what that's like.
It does look really good, that game.
It looks lovely, doesn't it?
Like, Graphically, it looks fantastic. That whole fucking multiplayer aspect of it, where like it's like trials where you can create your own maps and stuff. That's cool.
It is.
That's awesome. You know, that game's got a hell of a lot going for it. I don't know. Price points and timing, I would say, for me, for that game.
I think it's if we hadn't bought God of War, then we would have picked up Far Cry when Funk did.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. But I really wanted God of War.
Yeah. Every week we end the show with questions and comments sent in by you. If you've got anything for us, just pop an email to the jfgpodcast@gmail.com or contact us on Facebook, Twitter, or at justforgamers.co.uk. And now it's time for JFG Street Beat.
You got a question we wanna know. Beat. Facebook, Twitter, we're on them all. So hit us up and be on the show. Beat. The JFG Street Beat.
Street Beat.
We wanna know.
Get on the show.
Get on the show. And of course, you can get on the show, buddies, by heading to the jfgpodcast.co.uk and heading to the Street Beat page where you can just type your name in and whatever you like. Some sort of message. Maybe you want to ask a question. Maybe you want to call us a couple of bellends. I think that the latter's the more likely at this point, but if you want to do that, then we will read it out, no matter what it says, provided it isn't incriminating or racist. So there we go.
Maybe.
I'd just like to mention I've been listening throughout the whole of this podcast this week to a playlist on Spotify that I feel the need to name drop at this point, buddy. This is a really cool fucking, like, electro synth pop playlist thing of just, like new wave stuff, but it's, like, 80s kind of movies and games inspired. So it uses, like, nostalgic sounds here and there, but it's mainly like modern fucking cool productions.
I like chiptune.
Well, no, it's more like closer to like M83
I
and
wasn't
stuff.
saying it. Is it like it? I said I like chiptune.
Oh, I thought you said like.
No, I like.
Oh, okay, well that's fine.
I also like peanut butter.
Yeah, I mean,
Num, num.
both of those things are true. Yeah.
He ain't lying.
No, this cool playlist. It's on Spotify. It's called...
Now, are you listening to this because you went and saw Blade Runner?
There might be an element of that.
I reckon so.
But I think I'm kind of
You're
secretly
like, it's
a
like the
fan
Splinter
of,
Cell
like-
thing. What happened? You speak about Splinter Cell. So you're like, I have to play Splinter Cell. It's like,
I'm a mug.
I've seen Blade Runner. I must listen to New Wave Electro.
Yeah, to turn me into a psychopathic murderer, all you need to do is kill in front of me.
Yeah,
and I'll go on a spree immediately. Yeah, that seems good. I'm going to go and do that. Yeah,
I see how it's done now.
Yeah, possibly it is. I'm not
Maybe.
sure. Either way, it's a really cool playlist. It's called Retro Wave /Outrun. And it's all like little electro layered stuff, and it's good if you're playing games, and it seems to be good if you're doing a podcast as well. So I felt the need to mention.
I will add that to my lists of music on Spotify.
Maybe that should be as well as what you're drinking. It should be what you're listening to each week. But
One thing before we go into Street Beat, I was listening to some Weezer this week while we're talking about obviously good music.
which era of Weezer?
Blue to Green.
Blue to Green. Okay.
That's the only era that I know of, because after that I was like, fuck off.
Because I think we disagree on the best Weezer album, don't we?
It's Pinkerton.
No, we don't. It is Pinkerton.
There you go.
There you go. We don't disagree on that.
Cubs win. I was listening to the Blue album, and I was listening to whatever the song is where he goes about in his garage. I got a Dungeon Master's Guide, 12-sided die, posters on the wall, and all that lot. And he's like, he says garage, he goes garage. And I'm like, no, that's not. He's not even saying garage right. In the garage. It's like garage. No, garage. What's the garage? I'm like, no, mate, just
It
don't.
had limited syllables to play with, buddy.
He did, in the garage. I feel safe.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Fuck it, I love the Blue Album. Good
Wouldn't have got
album.
away with that if he was English.
No.
In the garage. Yeah.
I feel safe. I can't remember the words now.
Savage.
I feel... Robbie Savage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I digress. I can't talk. It's this gin. Hard hitting.
It's weird, isn't it? Because you're definitely drunk, but also you don't really realise.
I love it. This could be the way forward from now on.
It's really good. I've been doing it on game nights. I have to say, you feel like you're still completely in control of your body, but you just start sort of slurring.
I just can't talk anymore. It's fine.
Yeah,
I feel like this is the only reason that this podcast is over an hour and a half long.
Let's see if we can make it to the end of it before we.
Please. Okay. Anyway, Street Beat.
Street Beat. A question from PJ, and I think we covered this like 150 episodes ago.
Possibly. We've been around.
But he says this: what app do you use to listen to podcasts on your phones?
Podcast Addict. Blah.
Is that good?
It does it. I think I even bought like the official version because I really liked it. It worked really well. Like suggesting me podcasts that I wanted to listen to. I was like, yeah, cool, sweet. Oh, Dave's in there again. Downcast. Never heard of it. I'm gonna Google shit out of that one.
Man, no, I've never heard of that either.
It sounds... I know I was going to say something, but it's very wrong.
Watch yourself. Funk also uses Podcast Addict, moving swiftly on. I do not use Podcast Addict. I use Podcast Republic on Android. I don't know if it's on iOS as well.
Downcast is iOS, Mac, Apple Watch, and CarPlay, if you have them. I do not have them.
Okay.
I'm Android.
I'd imagine they all basically do the same at this point.
It's going to be you search for it. It's going to search through the various places where podcasts are, aren't they? And then you can download them. But yeah, with this, I like all the settings. Like I can set it to automatically download it when I refresh. I automatically delete them as well, like when it's 3 episodes old. Or if I've listened to the whole thing, it will automatically delete it as well. So it's just keeping my phone free from keeping shit tons of MP3s on there.
And my app, my Podcast Republic app, does all that as well. I've got it set up so that it will only download if it's plugged in.
Oh, nice. Yeah, on Wi-Fi or whatever and stuff.
Yeah, I've just got it set to only do it when it's plugged in because I don't want it ever to be downloading when I'm using it, and that's when I want them downloaded, ready for the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
Podcast Republic's cool. I think Podcast Addict is probably the big one. I would imagine that's probably the most.
It was the
popular.
first one on there, so I was like, that'll do.
Yeah.
Download.
Gibbons.
That's what it did. I did it.
It's good
that's
shit.
Why it happened. There you go. Podcasts. They're still a thing, apparently.
I've got 13 subscriptions on mine.
What does that mean?
I've got 13 podcasts that I've subscribed to.
I deleted a fuck ton of mine. I had like about 15 ones about Destiny. I was like, that's too many.
That's 3 too many.
That's at least. So I've only got... how many Destiny ones I've got? 1, 2... I've only got 3, 4 Destiny ones on there now. Yeah.
You're kind of tempering things, keeping it kind of on the download there, so that's nice.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Thanks PJ.
What's your favourite
Dave
Destiny
well.
podcast? That's what
my favourite Destiny podcast.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
He's got nothing.
I got absolutely nothing.
Can't even make one up.
No, the one with Bill Nye.
The one with Bill Nye
talks about.
Did you know he's dead? Not Bill Nye, but the speaker.
Didn't he die at the end of the game?
How did you know that and I didn't?
I played it.
What? I know, but I didn't realise that he died. He just kind of like fell. He fell on the floor. I'm like, oh, he'll get up in a bit.
That's quite funny that you didn't know that, considering the number of hours you played of the game.
Well, I just thought, it'd be all right. I'm like,
You listened to
wonder what
podcasts
speaker
about
is.
it. Obviously, he wasn't a very loved character because no one's fucking bothered talking about it since.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I was just like, I thought because the speaker was such a big character. He was fucking awesome, and then just for him to just fall on the floor and be like, meh. It's like, what is that him? Is he dead?
Yeah.
He's dead. He's fucking dead, mate.
Probably find out more about him in some fucking grimoire cards or something. I don't know.
Nice little tidbit about Destiny 2 Jimmy Warmind edition. Stephen Fry's in it.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a fucking voice on one of the computers. It's a legend. I was like, that's
nice.
That's Stephen Fry, that is.
That's pretty cool.
He's been reading me Harry Potter for the past couple of months. Lovely.
Beautiful.
Anyway, yeah. Once again, it's the gin.
Yeah, it's the gin. Thanks so much, PJ, for your question. It would only really be fitting at this point to thank our donator this evening, buddy. I think we probably should. Cosmic
Indeed.
Dad has donated £5 to us this evening. It's the very first time that we've received a donation whilst recording the podcast, which
Crazy.
is probably
Monumental.
says a lot about our podcast, I would say. But Cosmic Dad says this: I really like your podcast, very British and a lot of fun. Hope you keep doing it for a long time. We fucking will, buddy. We don't know when to stop.
We've got issues.
You've never known two people flogging a dead horse more than we do, so there's no danger of that stopping.
Indeed.
And thank you so much because
seriously,
we
thanks.
paid off our it was February, wasn't it, when we did our new hosting
Yeah,
deal,
I renewed it all.
and then we just slowly try and work our way up to having that covered for the following year, so that we're self-sustained by the listeners, and that's really all we're asking for.
Pretty much,
else.
he is covered over half of our web domain name for next year, so thank you very much in that one swift swell donation.
Nice to donate to something and really know that you're making a real big fucking difference. You're literally paying for like a quarter of the year's proceedings or whatever. So thank you so much for that. Really, really appreciate it. And also for questions and stuff during the show. So
yeah, keep it up.
beautiful. So I think that'll do us, buddy, for episode 163 of the podcast. It's been quite a lot of fun, I reckon. Actually, perhaps gin is the way forward for future podcasts. I've done it for a couple of weeks now. I say done it as if it's fucking smack. Which
Hey, no, I've found this new drink. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's gin and tonic. Have you? I've found it.
you've combined two drinks there, buddy, that I've heard of, but never thought I would put together.
Oh, but I found it. Like, you know, just like you find some band.
Discovered
around.
it. Yeah,
I've discovered this
drink.
Yeah, gonna call it an Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer alert.
Anyway, yeah.
What are we going to play now? Are we just going to go on the
Beasts.
store and buy a game? Oh yeah, Gang Beasts. Okay, yeah,
Gang
we'll play that.
Beasts.
Excellent.
Yeah,
and we'll buy a game
play
as well, probably.
I need to get
it's
some
bound
practice in. Yeah, we'll
bound to
play a
happen.
game. Yeah, maybe.
We can do some climbing on Gang Beasts.
Oh, I love it. I'm gonna climb
gonna
up
be-
here.
Fucking. That's going to be beautiful.
Let's end this shit show.
Okay, will do. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Thank you. Honestly, like, can't believe it. You can find us at a number of different places. I will now reel some of them off. www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk is our website. You can also find a link to our Discord channel and our Street Beat on there. So if you want to be on next week's show, then pop us a message, let us know, and we'll give you a readout. We're also on social media, Facebook.com/the JFG Podcast, I believe. We're also on @the JFG Podcast on Twitter. You can find us on PS4. If you want to join our PS4 community, then you can do that on your PlayStation if you have one, or on your phone. You definitely have one. We're also on SoundCloud. soundcloud.com/justforgamers. If you want to listen to an episode from, I think it's 120 something is the episode on there, buddies. So
It's a classic.
obviously, get on over there. Also, we're on a selection of video streaming sites. We stream this every Wednesday when we record it, sometime between sort of 8 and 9. And you can find us on there, the YouTubes with the JfG podcast. We're on twitch.tv/the JfG podcast, and of course mixer.com, aka beam.fucking.pro, if you want to get on there as well. And of course, if you do any chatting with us during the show, then you'll get read out and we'll have a chat with you as well. We'll even stop the show for it if we fancy, because that's how we do.
What we do.
I think I've got everywhere there. Oh yeah, and we're also on Google Plus, if that is how you choose to live your life. Thanks so much for listening, buddies. We will catch you next time. Until then, I have been Alex. He has been Ash.
Goodbye.
Farewell. You've been listening to the JfG podcast with Ash and me, Alex. To find out more, head to www.justforgamers.co.uk, Facebook /the JfG podcast, or Twitter, where we are at the JfG podcast. Episodes go live every Sunday, and if you could pop onto iTunes and write us a quick review, we would love every inch of you, even if you got old and fat. Thanks so much for listening, and we will catch you next time.